Hey guys, Mr. Jalapeno here with another episode of Jalapeno Drywall. On today's project, I'm going to show you how I repaired this dented up bullnose corner bead here by the foyer. The homeowners had a washer and dryer delivered to the house, but the delivery guys were not the greatest. They dented up this corner bead here and then one upstairs as well. I'm going to show you step by step on how I repaired it, so make sure you stay to the end. First thing I did was lay down some plastic, that way I don't make a mess. So there's different ways you could address these types of repairs. I'm going to be showing you one of the easiest without having to remove that bullnose corner bead. I do tell the customer if they want me to remove it and put a new piece, it is going to take a little bit more time and more money, obviously. They told me to just make it look a little bit better than it does right now without having to remove it, and I said I got you. So as you saw there, I did have to put a few screws on the edge of the corner bead only because it's cracking on the side, and if I didn't put any screws it might keep cracking up the wall, and we do not want that. The corner bead was sticking out on the side, so I just had to bang it down a little bit and then put another screw right there. I also want to make sure I remove any of the loose material around that area, that way the mud I'm going to use adheres better to the wall. And there we go, now the area is prepped and it is time for hot mud. If you've been watching my content for a while, you know that this is my go-to product for any drywall repairs that I do. I like using it because it sets in 5 minutes and then I could apply multiple coats in a short amount of time. All you have to do is just add a little bit of water, and for this repair, I'm making it more of like a peanut butter consistency, that way it's not too runny. And then I apply it to the damaged area, that way it fills everything in and it's nice and flat. I always recommend to do thin coats, that way it's not going to be too bumpy and it dries a little bit quicker as well. It also helps to add some of this fiber fuse tape over the edge of the corner bead, that way in the future it doesn't crack. Those screws should be enough, but to add another layer of strength, it doesn't hurt to just add some fiber fuse tape there. And we're done. Jalapeno Solutions. Boom! No, I'm just playing. So now we just have to remove the excess around the corner bead, as you can see right there. I'm using my 12-inch blade. Remember I told you they dented up the bullnose corner bead upstairs? This one isn't as bad as the one downstairs, so I don't have to add any screws because it's not cracking. The only thing I have to do is just remove any of the loose material that's right there. All I have to do with this one is just apply a little bit of hot mud, that way it kind of rounds out that corner so it doesn't look dented anymore. Again, I like to mix it peanut butter consistency and just apply a little bit. Remember, thin coats goes a long way. And if you're getting any value from this video, don't forget to follow for more Mr. Jalapeno content. But anyways, now I'm going to apply the second coat, that way it fills everything in and it's nice and flat. Remember to remove the excess around the corner bead, you don't want to be sanding too much. The main thing here is to just make sure that everything's going to be nice and round, that way it doesn't look like it's been patched. All I have to do now is texture, but I'm going to let it dry for a little bit before I do. In the meanwhile, I'm just going to apply the second coat on the one upstairs, and look, just nice and round there. The texture on the wall here is very weird. I personally don't like it. I think it's called skip trowel. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments if you know what it is. It's fairly easy to apply, and the type of product I'm using for the texture is called joint compound, so it's not the hot mud. The hot mud is just a little too rough, and I couldn't really get this design or this texture on it, so the joint compound will work better. The only thing with the joint compound is that it takes forever to dry, so we're not going to be able to paint this project today. I also added just a little bit of texture to the one upstairs, that way it doesn't look like one big flat spot, as you can see here. And if you want to get any of the tools or materials that I'm using, you could get them at Home Depot. But if you want to help support the channel at no extra cost to you, you could get them in my Amazon storefront. They are affiliate links, so I do benefit monetarily if you're kind enough to use them, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so all we have to do now is just let that texture dry before we can start painting. I asked the customer if they want me to come back to paint this once it's dry, but they said they could handle that part. I always appreciate the constructive feedback that I get in the comments, so if you think I could have done something different, something better, let me know. I did this repair a couple weeks ago, and the customer called me once he had painted it, and he was really grateful with how it turned out. And that's it. Jalapeno Solutions. Boom!